All right, here we go. Test review for our last test. Can't believe I'm saying that. For the unit. Okay, so again, I'm going to go through this pretty quick. If you kind of fall behind, just kind of pause it and then go back. Okay, so we want to solve for x. Okay, so to solve for x here, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move that a to the right side, and so it's just a plus d, or it can be d plus a, doesn't matter. Order does not matter with addition or subtraction. Only multiplication. Okay, multiplication, all right? Now, when I look and say x is equal to a plus d, then I ask myself, when I'm adding and subtracting, I have to have same dimensions. So what do we have here? So let's go ahead and let's just write our dimensions at the beginning here. 2 by 2, 2 by 3, 2 by 3, and then a 2 by 1. So a is a 2 by 2, d is a 2 by 1. To be able to perform addition or subtraction, I have to have same dimensions. So we would say not possible. And the reason why is dimensions. Dimensions mismatch. Okay? Next one here is going to be c minus b. So let's go ahead, let's write out c. So we're going to have this. We're going to go now this one here, I already noticed c and b, they're both the same dimension, so I'm just moving on to the subtraction part. So we got c minus b, we're going to have 4, negative 1, negative 5. I don't know why I'm saying out all the elements, sorry. So here's what I like to do, okay? Since it's a minus sign, I change it to a plus because what I'm doing is I'm moving this minus sign to everything to the second matrix here. Yeah, matrix. Yeah, sorry, not matrices, that's plural. Second matrix here, which is b. And so when you move that minus sign through it, now it becomes a plus. And you're just changing all these signs. So now we have a negative 4, positive 1, positive 5, negative 2, 0 doesn't change, and then a positive 3. And now with addition and subtraction, you just add the same spots for the elements. So 1 minus 4, negative 3, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 5, 7, negative 3 minus 2, negative 5, 6 plus 0, 6, 1 plus 3, 4. All right. Next one here. Okay, we need to get that x by itself, so we're going to divide that negative 2. And so x is going to be equal to a negative 1/2 times a. Okay, so what is a? So let's go ahead and write that out. So it's going to look like this. So you're going to get times a, which is a negative 2, 0, 1. And now this is a scalar, that's 1/2 is, so we're just going to go ahead and distribute it. And so you're going to get this. You're going to have negative 1/2 times a negative 2 is a positive 1. Negative 1/2 times 0 is 0. Negative 1/2 times 4 is a negative 2. Negative 1/2 times a positive 1 is a negative 1/2. And there you go, there's your answer. Okay. All right, this one here, to solve for x, we need to isolate the x, so we're just going to add the 2b over. So x is going to be equal to 3c plus 2b. So let's go ahead and let's do that first. So 3c, so it's going to be like this. So 3c means I'm just taking my c value, and that 3 on the outside is a scalar, and we're multiplying it through. So 3 times c is going to give you this. You're going to get 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times a negative 3, negative 9, 3 times 6, 18, 3 times 1 is 3. So that's 3c right there. Okay, plus 2b. So again, we're going back up here to b, multiplying everything by 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 2 times negative 5, negative 10. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times negative 3, negative 6. Since it's already plus right here, sorry, this is 2b. Since it's already plus, we can go ahead and we can just commence adding in. So again, corresponding thoughts. So 3 plus 8, 11. 3 minus 2, negative 1. 6 minus 10, negative 4. Negative 9 plus 4, negative 5. 18 plus 0, 18. 3 minus 6, negative 3, and there you go. There's your answer. Okay. All right, 5. Now it starts to get a little bit more complicated. Multiplication here. Now recall, when you do multiplication, A is a 2 by 2, and B is a 2 by 3. So why can I do multiplication? Because these two middle numbers match there. And so then your solution matrix is going to be a 2 by 3. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's write those out. So what is my A matrix? Looks like this. It is negative 2, 0, 4, and 1. Sorry. And then B is 4, negative 1, negative 5, 2, 0, negative 3. So again, how we do this is I'm only concerned with the rows in the first one, so I label row 1, row 2, and then I label column 1, 2, and 3. And now we want to make remember we said we're going to have a 2 by 3 matrix here, sorry. 2 by 3 is my solution, so I'm going to draw a bigger one, so I have some room here. So 2 rows, 3 columns. All right, and here we go. So remember, label the rows from the first, columns from the second. If you need to use a colored pencil, that's fine. From the quizzes I've graded so far, the multiplication is really good. So here we go. So we're going row 1 times column 1. So negative 2 times 4. Negative 2 times 4, that's a negative 8. 0 times 2 is 0, so negative 8 plus 0 here. Okay, row 2, column 1. 4 times 4, 16. 1 times 2, 2. Okay, now we're doing row 1, column 2. So row 1, negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. 0 times 0 plus 0. And then we'll go row 2, column 2 here now. So row 2, so 4 times negative 1, negative 4. 1 times 0 plus 0. And now we're going row 1, column 3. So negative 2 times negative 5, that's a positive 10. 0 times negative 3 is plus 0. Row 2, column 3 now. 4 times negative 5, negative 20. 1 times negative 3, negative 3. And now for our answer here, we're just going to go ahead and simplify everything, and then we'll be done. So negative 8 plus 0, that's just a negative 8. 2 plus 0 is 2. 10 plus 0 is 10. 16 plus 2 on the bottom there, 18. Negative 4 plus 0, negative 4. Negative 20 minus 3 is negative 23. And there you go. Okay. All right, next one here, C. X equals 2 times C equals 2 times C times D. Okay? So again, let's check C and D here. So C is a 2 by 3, and D is a 2 by 1. So Look at that. I was about to go ahead and do that. Thank God I checked the dimensions. Okay? So they don't match. So we would just say multiplication not possible. The reason why, if I ask you why, must have same number of columns and the same number of columns must have the same number of columns and rows. Let's say it must have the same number of columns on the first matrix as rows on the second. Okay? So just make sure you know how to explain yourself if I ask you for that, okay? All right, so now inverse of A, okay? So recall, first thing we must do is we must find the determinant. So again, I'm going to write A out. Matrix A looks like this. It's a 2 by 2. 2, 0, 4, and 1. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have to find the determinant. So the determinant, remember, is equal to A times D. A times D, so it's going to be negative 2 times 1 minus C times B and 0. So then the determinant equals negative 2 minus, that's 0, right? So it'd just be negative 2 minus 0, which then equals just negative 2. So then now what we're going to do is the next part is you do 1 over the determinant. So we've got a negative 1/2 outside here. And then remember, and some people forgot this on their quiz, flip these two. So now it's a 1 and negative 2. And then all we do with C and B here is we just flip their signs. So it's a negative 4 and 0 stays the same. And then now all I do is I'm just going to go ahead and multiply negative 1/2 by all 4 of these elements here. And I'm going to get this. So negative 1/2 times 1 is a negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 times 0 is 0. Negative 1/2 times a negative 4 is a positive 2. Negative 1/2 times a negative 2 is a positive 1. And there we go. That is our final answer. Okay, last one here. AX equals D. Again, normally we would divide the A off, but here's the problem. Can't divide matrices. So how you do this is you have to do kind of what we talked about. It's like when you're solving a 2 by 2 system here. You're going to have X equals A inverse times D. So the nice thing is because we already found, because this right here, that's the inverse of A. So I've already done the hard work. Remember, order matters, guys. When you are solving for a system, whatever's on the left side here has to come first when you multiply. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to get so A inverse is negative 1/2 times 0 times 2 times 1 times D, which is a 2 by 1, which D is now 12 and 6. So we have a 2 by 2 here, 2 by 1. So that means that my solution is also going to be a 2 by 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's set that up. So again, we're doing row 1, row 2, and then column 1. I'm going to bring it down here. Draw a little bit bigger so I have more space. And here we go. So I'm only concerned, so again, label down here as well your rows from the first columns from the second. Guys, if you have two different colors, I would use that if it's confusing you a little bit. So here we go. So we're doing row 1 times column 1 here. Negative 1/2 times 12 is a negative 6. 0 times 6 is 0. So we've got negative 6 plus 0. So I won't write that all the way up to the side of that. I wasn't sure about how much room I was going to have there. So negative 6 plus 0. Again, negative 1/2 times 12. 0 times 6. Okay. Row 2 times column 1. 2 times 12. 24. So 2 times 12. 1 times 6. 6. And so then our final answer, to simplify here, negative 6 plus 0 is a negative 6. 24 plus 6 is 30, and there you go. Now, thankfully, we already did, like I said, we did the inverse in number 7, so we didn't have to spend all this time finding the inverse again, but you got to make sure. Inverse, 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 okay? All right. Number 9, the determinant of this matrix given is 12, and we need to find x. So we're going to go about just doing the exact same thing that we normally do to find a 3 by 3 determinant, okay? So again, what you do is you take your matrix, your 3 by 3 matrix here. Let's write it all out. And then what do? We write the first two columns over again. So we're going to get 1, 3, negative 5, 1, 4, negative 6. And there we go. Now, do I have two different highlighters in here? I sure do. So, remember, we start at the top left. There's our first 3 right there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do a bracket, big bracket here. And then, yeah, we'll just do that. So we'll just do a bracket to start off here. So 1 times 4 times x there, that's going to be just 4x. Or actually, I'll break it all the way down. Let's do it that way. So we're going to do 1 times 4 times x plus 1 times 2 times negative 5. And then last but not least, we're going to have 0, 3, negative 6. Now we're changing direction, so you always have a minus sign in between there. And now I'm going big parentheses for this because I want you to understand you got to distribute this minus sign, but whatever we get over here. Okay? So now we're swapping directions. Instead of starting at the top left, now we start at the bottom left. And we go up. So we're going negative 4, negative 5, 4, and 0. Okay, then we're going negative 6, negative 2, 1. Plus x and 1. And now all we're going to do is we're going to simplify here. So we're going to have this now. So it's going to be 1 times 4 times x, that's 4x. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10 times 1 is a positive 10. So we've got 4x plus 10. 0 times anything out here, just cancel that. It's just 0. So we just have 4x plus 10 minus, in parentheses here. 0 times everything there is just going to keep it as 0. Negative 6 times negative 2 is a positive 12 times 1, so you have 12. And then you've got 3 times x times 1, which is plus 3x. Distribute this negative sign through, and now we're going to have this. We're going to have 4x plus 10 minus 12 minus 3x, which then that gives you this. You've got 4x, combined like terms here now. 4x minus 3x is just x. Okay? And then we got 10 minus 12, which is a negative 2. And here's why I told you what the determinant was actually equal to. You have to have that, because if you didn't have enough information, you couldn't solve x. We would just be left with x minus 2. So we have to set it equal to 12. So whatever I get, if I get this question on the test, if I get this question on the test, if I get this question on the test, whatever this is equal to, we're going to set our final little part equal to, and we're going to solve for x. So what is x minus 2 equals 12? You end up finding out that x is equal to 10. Okay? All right. Given this matrix here, state the dimensions of it. Remember, how do we do dimensions? Its dimensions is row times column. Okay? So how many rows do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 rows. We have 1, 2, 3 columns. So you'd say this is a 4 by 3. Very easy. Please do not miss that on the test. What value is A32? So I want to know what element is at row 3, column 2. So row 3. So what row? I draw a line through the row that I'm asked for, and then the column. So the third row, second column, where do the two lines overlap? They overlap there at that 9, and there you go. Okay? All right, so now here gets to the part where it would be a lot easier to do on a calculator, but sorry, you must show your work. Everything that I've done so far, showing all the work I'm showing, you must do the same thing on the test. Okay? So first off, let's write this as a matrix equation. So our matrix equation is going to look like this. You must do that on the test. You must write a matrix equation. Okay? We just drop all the variables. So we're going to have 2, 1, 5, 6. That's going to be A. Always times our variables in order here, x, y, equals, I don't know why I put a line there. There shouldn't be a line there. It should just be 3 and 4. And so we label this x, label b, and then recall. How do we solve? X is equal to A inverse times b. Okay? So first off, we need to find the determinant of A. So the determinant, that's going to be, sorry, 2 times 6 minus, so 2 times 6 minus 5 times 1. So our determinant then is equal to 12 minus 5, or 7. So now it's going to look like this. You're going to get now 1 over 7 times, flip 6 and 2, so 6 up here, 2 here, and then you just change the signs here, negative 5 and 1, and then we're just multiplying it by b. Now what I like to do to make it easier on you is I multiply A and B first together every time. A and B first together every time. So we're going quick here. You saw me have to do multiplication on the front. So we're just doing row 1 times column 1 here, row 2 times column 2. Okay? 9 times column 1. So it's going to look like this. You're going to have 6 times 3, which is 18. 1 times 4, 4, so 18 plus 4. Now we're going row 2, column 1. Negative 5 times 3, negative 15. 2 times 4, 8. And so now we have this. We're going to have 1 over 7 times 18 plus 4, 22. Oh, this is supposed to be a negative as well. Shoot. No wonder why I'm getting ugly answers. Sorry. Typo there. Yeah, you got to change both those negatives. So now you see how easily you can make a mistake. My bad, guys. That's why I was like, why am I not getting a nice answer here? Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18. Negative 1 times 4, negative 4. Negative 5 times 3, negative 15. 2 times 4, positive 8. And now you're going to bring that 1/7 over, so now you have this. So now you've got, I'm going to go down here. So now we're going to have 1/7 times 18 minus 4, 14, negative 15 plus 8, negative 7. And so your final answer is going to be this. You're going to have x equals 1/7 times 14, 2, 1/7 times a negative 7, y equals a negative 1. Guys, we should always get nice answers when we're doing these. Should always get nice answers. Okay? Now this one here, before I write the matrix equation, I need to organize it to where I have the x's to one side, the y's to the other, so it's going to look like this. So you're going to have 4x. We've got to bring this 3y over, and then the 18 over to the other side. So it's going to be a negative 3y equals a positive 18. And then thankfully this bottom one here is in order for us already. It's got the 8x minus 7y equals 34. So really pay attention to that if you get a question like that on the test. Okay? So let's go ahead and write it as a matrix equation first again. So we just take our coefficients on our left sides and drop the variables. So it's just 4, negative 3, 8, negative 7, times x. Well, I don't know why I keep drawing that line there like it's a fraction or something. And then you got 18, 34. So let's go ahead. We need to find the determinant. Make sure we can even do this. So we've got 4 times a negative 7 minus 8 times a negative 3. And so what is that? So 4 times a negative 7, that's a negative 28. Minus 8 times a negative 3, that's a negative 24. Minus a negative 24, so that's plus. And so we get negative 4 as our determinant. So yes, we can find a solution to this. So now here we go. So our process for finding the inverse here, so this is A, X, and B. Ax and b, we have to find the inverse here. So we're going to take the determinant, put 1 over the determinant, so it's a negative 1/4, times, flip a and d, so it's a negative 7, 4, and then you change the signs there, negative 8, positive 3, times b, which is 18 and 34. So the first thing I always do first is I'm going to multiply these two together, and then I'll distribute the negative 1/4 through. Makes it a lot easier. So again, we have a 2 by 2, a 2 by 1 here, so my solution is going to be a 2 by 1. So here we go. So I may have to spend a little bit of, I might need to use the calculator here because I got some big numbers. So I got negative 7 times 18. So negative 7 times 18 is going to be a negative 126. Okay, 3 times 34. 102, so negative 126 plus 102. Okay. All over now row 2, column 1, row 2, column 1, so negative 8 times 18. Negative 144. Plus 4 times 34. 136. Now let's go ahead and let's simplify those. So we're going to have this now. So we're going to have negative 1/4. Negative 126 plus 102, I believe, is negative 24. And then negative 144 plus 136 is a negative 8. So now last but not least, the easy part here, we just distribute this negative 1/4 here, and we'll get our solution. So x equals, so negative 1/4 times a negative 24 there is going to be a positive 6. A negative 1/4 times a negative 8 there is going to be a positive 2. And so your solution is 6 and 2. Okay? All right, 14, 15. Now this is where we have to use our calculator. So first off, let's write a matrix equation, and then I will show you steps again. Again, remember, x equals A inverse times B again whenever we're solving for a system. So let's go ahead, let's write our matrix equation here. So we're going to have negative 1, 2, 7, 2, 1, negative 2, 5, 2, equals 13, negative 2, negative 14. All right, so again, A, X, B. So here we go. So you need a 36X or you need a graphing calculator. There's no excuse, guys, I'm saying it again. Played it 10 times. There's no excuse that you can't do this problem because you don't have access to a calculator. You've had plenty of time to understand. I know it may sound harsh, but that's just reality. So our first matrix here, A is a 3 by 3. Make sure we type it in correctly. So negative 1, enter. 2, enter. 7, enter. 2, enter. Negative 1, enter. Negative 2, enter. 3, enter. 5, enter. 2, enter. Make sure you get this all correct, because if you don't, you're going to get, you're not going to get the correct answer. So that's the one big thing with this problem. Okay? All right, so now we're going to hit second math again to go back. We're going to go all the way over to edit. We're going to go down to 2, which is also which is already a 3 by 1 set up for me. So enter, enter, enter there. And we're going to plug in, we're going to do 13, negative 2, negative 14. Okay, and so now we got that nice. We have to go all the way back out to the home screen. So second mode. And now we're going to do second math again. Instead of going over to the third column, we're going to stay in the first column. We're going to hit enter there, and it's going to come up with our matrix that we just plugged the elements in for. We're going to hit the raise exponent button, type in a negative 1 there, hit the right arrow key to bring it back down, the blinky square back down, and then we're going to go back into second math, select B, and so it should look like this. Once you have that, you are almost done. You just hit enter, and there we go. So our solution is x equals 0, y equals negative 4, z equals 3, and there you go. So really easy. As long as you know what to do on the calculator, okay, you should be fine, guys. Okay, should be fine. Should not miss this problem tomorrow. Okay? So again, let's write the matrix equation now. So we're going to get 1. Now notice how I don't have anything there for y. I can't just leave a blank space. I have to fill it with a 0. So whenever you don't have one of the variables, you have to fill it with a 0. So 3z. Okay, negative 2x, so negative 2, 3, 1. See how the 3y came back? Keep it in the same order. Don't do 1, 3, and then a 0 over here. Because then calculator thinks the 0 is for the z, not for the y. And then you've got 3, negative 1, 2. Equals 6, negative 11, 13. So again, A, X and B, remember, how do we solve? A inverse times B. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the calculator. Now we got to clear out of this because it's our answer. Second mode, back to home, and then we're going to second, not data, second math. Go all the way over, edit, hit select A. It's a 3 by 3 again. Let's go ahead. Let's plug everything in. So 103 is that first row. Negative 2, 3, 1, and then 3, 1, 2. So let's just make sure that is correct. So 103, negative 2, 3, 1, 3, negative 1, 2. Good. Second math. Because now I need to scroll down to B, go all the way over to edit, go down to B, hit enter on the 3 by 1. And let's plug that in. So we're going to have 6, negative 11, 13. Back to the home screen. So second mode to clear it out. Second math again for the matrix button. Select A. Hit the exponent button. Raise it to negative 1. Scroll over. Second math again. Select B. And now it looks nice. And if we did this right, we should get nice answers here, which we do. And so you see that x is equal to 3, y equals negative 2, z equals 1. Okay? And there you go. So that's it. So when you get one like that tomorrow, that should not be missed. All right. Last one here. We've got a company manufacturer. So when we see a word problem, our goal is we need to write a system out, write a matrix equation, and then find our solutions. Okay. So a company manufacturer, and pretty much like each sentence. Okay. So we've got a company that manufactures tables, chairs, and stools. Last week, 275 items were produced. So there's my first equation. So tables plus chairs plus stools equals 275. Remember, we're trying to figure out what each is produced. So we don't know how many each is produced. We just know that 275 are produced. The number of chairs was 4 times the total numbers of tables and stools. So chairs equals 4 times tables plus stools. So how many tables and stools will produce, I'm going to multiply that with them combined times 4, and that's going to give me the number of chairs. So let's go ahead and let's simplify this equation. So it's going to look like this. So we're going to have C equals 4t plus 4s. Now recall though, I want everything to be on one side though, all the variables to be on the left side. So then we need to go ahead and take this and move everything over to the left. And so when we do that, we're going to get this. So we're going to get a negative 4t plus c minus 4s equals 0. Again, I want everything over to one side. So after I figured out this equation, again, how did I get this? The number of chairs equals the total of the tables plus stools times 4. So I'm adding the tables and the stools together, and then I'm multiplying them by 4. That's how I got my equation. Again, why does everything have to be moved over to the left side? Because we want all the variables on the one side. Okay? All variables on one side to write our nice matrix equal to our solutions on the right here. Then our last equation says this. It says, our last sentence, the total value of the items produced was $42,125. A chair sells for $150, a table for $200, and a stool for $75. Okay? So it's going to look like this. It's going to be 200 T plus 150 C plus 75 S equals total amount sold. So 42,125. So let's go ahead now and let's write our matrix equation here. So you're going to have 1, 1, 1, negative 4, 1, negative 4, 200, 150, 75. Close that matrix. We're going to do TCS, tables, chairs, stools, equals 275, 0, and 42,125. And now again, this is a 3 by 3, so we have to use our calculator here. So again, I have right here, second mode to get back to the home screen after you finish doing a problem. For some reason, the calculator will not let you go back into second matrix. right away. So you go all the way down over to edit. We have a 3 by 3 again, which is nice. And so let's put our numbers right. 1, 1, 1, -4, 1, -4, 200, 150, 75. Second math, go all the way over to edit, down to B, which is a 3 by 1. Our B value right here, remember, A, X, B. So we're going to do 275 here, 0, and then 42, 125. I know it's going to look weird here. Oh, actually, it showed all 5. If you were to do more than 5 numbers, it looks different, but you shouldn't have to on the test. Now that we have that all in, second, just see, look what happens. I'll try to do second matrix. I can go to it, but then when I select A, look what happens. It puts it down here for B3. I don't want that. So second mode, go back to home screen, second math, select A, exponent button here, -1, scroll over, second math, select B, hit enter, and if we did this correct, we should get nice values, and we do. So tables equals 40, chairs equals 220, stools equal 15. How do you know you did it correctly? 40 plus 15 is 60. 60 times 4. Oh, wait a second there. Make sure I typed in everything correctly. Yeah, because 4 times that's 160. Let's see, why is that off? Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on here. Something must be wrong with the calculator or something, because that should be 220. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know why that is. Maybe one of you can figure it out and you can let me know for bonus points where I'm messing up. Okay? So let's just keep it like that, because for some reason, I don't know why. All right? But that's it. That's the test review. I mean, you have an understanding of how to do this problem. There's something going on there wrong. We've been on here now for 43 minutes, but yes, that is the test review. You guys are going to do a great job on the test. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.